Welcome to Make a Path Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about what's coming up in the world of The Walking Dead. Now, this is going to pertain to the upcoming episode and also some of the mysterious signs that we've been seeing. Oh, she's got some pinned out eyes. Alpha on drugs. Anyhow, we'll probably do separate predictions if anything seems to spill over in its own important segment. Right off the top of my head, I'm thinking two things mainly. The big deaths coming up at the end of the season, which we already covered in a separate video. I still feel pretty good with those predictions in that video. And the second thing would be the signs that we got on a letter to Carol that I pointed out yesterday in a preview for, I think, episode 913. And then last night, we actually seen that symbol behind Ezekiel when they were driving off. It was spray painted on the back of a street sign, but we'll get to that in a second. But like I said, if that develops further into something that could be more than what I'm guessing right now, we'll do a separate video adding some detail to that. But the first thing I want to mention is where we're getting our stuff. We don't cover spoilers. We're getting it from three things. One is this sneak peek that's uploaded on the AMC channel. There's two things I'm missing. I can't find it anywhere. One was the sneak peek uploaded during Talking Dead, unless this is it, but they don't normally post that. Somebody else normally records that and uploads it randomly on YouTube. I searched for that. It wasn't showing up when I looked at it, but this is the sneak peek, which is really awesome because you have Alpha give Lydia an apple, and Lydia's kind of like, Mom, do you mind? I'm trying to eat, you ugly bitch. Just kidding. Alpha does talk about lying, and she's like, that's why I like animals. They don't lie. I thought that was a pretty messed up thing, but you can look at the sneak peek. It is posted on YouTube. It is just them talking, and you can dissect a little bit of what's going on there. But the other one is the actual full trailer, which is very interesting, and we'll get into the full trailer in a minute. But the last and final piece of information we're pulling this from is the stills, the picture images, the still images that they released. We'll scan through a couple. I think some of them are really telling. Hidden details in the background, some really creepy shit. One thing I love about the Whispers is how creepy they look. Look at this. Oh, let me see that, baby. Look at that face. Look at that zombie's face, yo. Anyhow, speaking of looking at the face, you guys knew it was coming. He's got the permanent blue steel look going on. Anyhow, first thing first, let's dive into this image here. I put it all on one page so it would be easy and clear to see. You guys know that when they were coming out of the movie theater, which was suspiciously packed with zombies that were kind of roped off, I want to go back and really watch the episode to see if there's something there, or am I reading a little too much into it? Because it did look like it could potentially be a staging area for Whispers. Now, this is something we talked about yesterday, where this could be a symbol for the Whispers, or it could be a symbol for a new group. Now, I'm not going to dive into no new group speculation now because we simply don't have enough information. I know I got like 50 comments talking about some highwaymen. Listen, I'm not into spoilers. If someone's talking about something that is out of the blue, like what does that even mean, highwaymen? I mean, I guess they're by a street, but I wouldn't call that a highway. So I don't know. I'm not going to go down that road. All I know is when they were leaving the theater, they went past this sign and it looked like an upside down V with a top on it, like a table with broken legs, or a K on its side, symbolizing the kingdom will fall. I thought that was pretty good. Someone said that in the chat the other night. Also, somebody said it's the pi symbol. I disagree with that. I think if it was the pi symbol, it would look similar to a table. Maybe a little squiggly lines. Plus, I was reading into the pi symbol, and I don't really find anything that connects to the Whispers or any symbolism that they got going on with their tribe. Now, also, during the lead up into the second half of Season 9, we got this promo image from, her name's Kristen. Let me show you here. Her name's Kristen. She works for the Insider. She put this up. Geez, you know what? That's going to be her recent stuff, I think. But she put this up, damn, maybe 2 weeks ago. It was a picture of Carol from episode 913, and she's holding what seems to be a note. She's got an expression on her face like, what is this? Where is this from? Now, what's interesting is if you look on the note, it's upside down, or at least the way she's holding it. Now, she could be looking at it right side up and then move it around, but we don't know if there's any other writing on there. I did try to zoom into the actual picture. It does not look like there's any other writing on there except for a symbol, which does interfere a little bit with what I originally thought this meant. And what that was is simply this. If this was a staging area for walkers, it would be simply, here's the walkers, or here's the location, and then here's an arrow leading to the location. Like you're heading here, here it is. And so it would essentially be simplified by a sideways K. Like, here is the location where we're storing the zombies. That's it. Keep in mind, if it was a warning, why would you make up code to warn somebody? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it would be smart they all speak English. You know what I mean? It's not like some weird primal tribe where they don't even speak English or anything like that. No, they all speak English. So if they wanted to leave a sign warning people, it wouldn't be some weird graffiti on a street sign that makes zero sense to anybody. No, they would simply write, listen, trust me, if you enter, you will die. Don't mess with our stuff, leave our territory, this, that, and the third. So I'm thinking it should have something to do with simply the Whispers and their staging areas. If the Whispers send out different, I don't even know what to call them, because they don't really have a ranking system, but like Beta is the number 2, right? Beta is the number 2 to Alpha. If Beta sends out some other guy who is in charge of a mini group of Whispers, or he just simply sends out a mini group of Whispers, and they know that in this area by the theater, they have 2 or 3 staging areas where they're keeping zombies, then a simple marking would be easily identifiable. Oh, look, boom, there it is. We travel east on this road, we hit a couple markings, that's where we have our zombies. I think it could be something a little simple like that. However, you guys give me your thoughts and opinions, get down below. Like I said, if it spills over into this being another group and that's going to kick off Michonne's story for why she leaves or anything else, I'm not going down that road yet, simply because we just don't have enough information. I will add, it looks like Carol gets this letter while they are in this moment, and it looks like she has this letter talking to Ezekiel. So maybe someone brings it in saying they found this. It is written in the same red, which is also interesting because this looks like spray paint. So did they magically have just a red marker? Do they need to write it in red? What if they only had a black Sharpie? I don't know. My brain thinks of these things. And it also looks like she's holding it here as well, talking to Jerry's wife. And this is the setup to the fair, I believe. So, I'm sticking with the Whispers. You guys let me know. Here's an interesting image. They are really hammering this home. I'm getting worried for Ezekiel. I don't think Carol's going to die anytime soon, but I'm getting worried for Ezekiel. Like I said, this is episode 1. We got like episode 2 or 3 or something like that. And then here, episode 11. I think there was one more I forgot to add there. Here's a neat image that I want to showcase. The heads, it's actually masks on little sticks. If you look at some of the images in the trailers, they have all these little masks that are held up by sticks, animal jaw bones, and it's neat because they're wearing these masks. So instead of taking them off and tossing them in the dust and the dirt, they put them up kind of display all around the camp, which is similar to the border wall. Anyway, Kristen also put this up that I loved. You have Daryl, Rick, you have the 2 hostages, Herschel, Michonne, and again, this is a season 4 comparison. You have Alpha, you have the governor, and then here a faraway view of everyone watching Rick talking to the governor and then Daryl talking to Alpha. I think that was a pretty cool comparison. Here's Michonne with we're going to skip ahead a little bit. Here's the images, the stills from the trailer. And this is Lydia. I'm excited to see her get her new mask. I think it's going to come maybe at the end of this episode or the episode coming up. Did they give her fresh clothes? Because she looks real fresh compared to these other zombies here. And then Alpha, she is probably just giving her some motherly love right there. It looks like a very affectionate stance. I will say I love the look of this. You can tell the actress isn't phoning this in. She knows she's abused. And even her stance is acting. A still stance is acting. You know she ain't being lazy. Someone take notes. Just saying. Shots fired. Anyway, Henry's in the pit. This is the oh shit moment where Beta lifts his ass up out of there and probably tears his ass up. Here is, it looks like what they're doing is getting some water or doing something with their community. I can't really tell, maybe gathering berries or something, but what's interesting is this guy is doing something down here, and we have these guys in the background dragging what appears to be a body and some more of their camp in their tent, which is real cool because it looks like we're going to be getting a decent visual of the Whisperers and how they live. Here's another one of those masks on a stick, which again, it's not only how they're displaying their masks, but holy hell, it's a clear foreshadow of what's to come at the end of this season, not episode, but you got some blood here. I would imagine they're skinning some walkers, maybe making some new skins. We also see some signs. There is walkers in this little hill that I'm wondering if it is some of the walkers that are kind of building up for the area they have there or what, because it does look like they drag a body out to these walkers, and this would be a Whisper, I would imagine, is helping to keep them there and not to lose them. One of the walkers that herds the Whisperers. You have Alpha and Beta discussing some stuff here. Very excited to see Beta. Again, this looks like the same kind of sunny hill where I would imagine they're coming up over the hill, and this is looking down into their little tribe. In the comic at this point in time, we had Lily and Henry. Is that him back there? Yo, that might be Henry back there. That would make sense because they had this same moment. That would make sense. We see them traveling and we see them getting stuff together, and it looks like it is a ragtag little group, but then at the same time we see them with their official group, and they have the skins, they have the posts with the masks, so maybe there's 2 or 3 different locations, and it would line up very similar to the comic book. Instead of Henry finding them, and this lines up to Daryl and Connie and their story, but Daryl runs into them while they're traveling back to where they have their little army. It's hard to say. I don't want to say like they're whatever because they relocate, so their main army. And again, even then, it's not a main army because you have like one huge staging area that we will not find out about until for a while, unless they change it. And then you have like 3 or 4 different areas where they're all meeting and relocating, and then they're coming together. It's weird. Again, they move around. It's like different communities that are mobile. Anyhow, this looked like a body that they were hauling out. I'm wondering if this was a Whisperer who couldn't quite cut it. I doubt it's Henry. I doubt it's anybody we know. So it's probably someone who just couldn't cut it as a Whisperer, or a Whisperer who defied Alpha or tried to challenge Alpha because she is breaking the rules with her daughter. Now this, I thought maybe this was the Whisperer who said some shit and Beta just crushes him and I don't know, stabs him in the head or something. But then I'm thinking, wait a minute, Lydia needs a mask. Maybe this is just a walker, and maybe he skins it and takes the mask off, and then we get a good gory look of how they get a mask. But then I'm thinking, wouldn't it be easier to just kill the walker and then skin it? So I'm not really sure. You let me know down in the comments. Is it a Whisperer that mouthed off to Alpha and Beta put him in his place, or is this a walker and he's going to skin it and get a mask for Lydia? There's a reason why I think that might be the case. It's in the trailer. I'm going to try to speed this up, but here is Alpha. She's obviously, I think clearly, she's displaying some kind of power dance. I would imagine all the Whisperers are standing around and they're watching their great leader, and she's probably just going to do some weird little dance showcasing why she's the leader and how powerful she is. I don't know what's really going on here, but it looks fucking weird, to be honest. Negan in a jail cell. Father Gabriel and Eugene, probably going to be talking about Rosita. This we can skim right through because this is just going to be Michonne being like, Negan, what's your play here? I mean, what are you doing? You escaped. I know about it. And then you come back. So they're going to have a little back and forth and now kind of add to what is going to happen with Negan, and that is going to be Negan wanting to get out and maybe on work release or get out and be trusted and reintegrate into that community. Now, how Michonne reacts to hearing that, I don't know. Or maybe he's willing for it to take time for him to earn his way out and help, earn his place, so to speak. Eugene and Gabriel. There's so many pictures of Eugene and Gabriel. I'm not sure what they're trying to do there, but check out these trailers real quick. The first one I want to point out is only 10 seconds in. You have this pit. No, actually, you know what? This is what I wanted to point out. Check this out. With Beta, notice something that is just weirdly odd with Beta. In one image, you clearly see he has like Rick's belt buckle. No, I don't think it's actually Rick's belt buckle, but holy shit, does it look identical. As if they're using the same belt buckle, and they've done that before on the show. Yeah, sure. But my point is, it's probably really similar on purpose, because if you look at Beta, what else is really similar on Beta? I mean, the scarf. Really similar to Negan, right? And then you see the legs. This is something that I find really interesting. You have, look at his ankles. Come on, we know what that is. Daryl fans, especially anyone who's collected any Daryl figure knows, he has this shit wrapped around his ankles. I don't know a lot of characters that have that, but just quick glancing at Beta, he's got like a trench coat. We've seen the Governor with a trench coat recently. We've seen, what's her name, but I think the Governor's a little more prominent because it's Governor with the trench coat. You have the scarf that's like Negan, and it's a red scarf. You've got the legs wrapped up like Daryl, and he's going to be stealing Daryl's knives. Definitely, that's not a spoiler. Daryl's knives in season 9 are the signature knives to comic Beta, so there's no way he doesn't snatch those knives off of Daryl. Let me make this a little bigger, but I just thought that was real neat and weird how there's these little bits and pieces of him that kind of look like, man, look at that face. That's the face of all the fans that are mad that Carl's gone and we got Henry. That's the face of all the people who don't like Henry. Anyway, I just think that's interesting, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but he does seem to be dressed a little too much like it's on purpose, like previous former villains and heroes in the Walking Dead comic. Now, that's Beta up there. I would imagine Henry's saying something stupid, and then she wants to shut him up like, you asshole, you're going to get yourself killed, or maybe both of us killed, and she clocks him. I don't think there's anything serious there. We got the first time Beta speaks is in the trailer, which is cool. I wish they would have just saved it for the show. 20 seconds in, this is clearly where Henry was fighting the Whisperer, and then Beta shows up, yanks him out of the ditch. This is obviously showing us that Henry does in fact run into the Whisperers out on the road, right around here. Beta yanks him up. Alpha, for whatever reason, decides to bring Henry with them, and then they continue to travel. I don't know if they stop overnight or if they make it to their tribe in one day, but then you have Daryl. He shows up, and the dog's sniffing around, definitely showing that they were there. Daryl can do his tracking thing to know there was a scuffle, and then we see, even Connie knows he caught up with them. In 23 seconds in, this is where it gets real interesting. This is what I mean by this jaw here. Some of it does kind of look a little stitched. Maybe it is a mask. But then some of it looks like it might be just a Whisperer. And then you have Beta actually putting one of the skins on a post. He's wearing his mask. Alpha's wearing her mask. Lydia needs a mask. So is that Lydia's new mask that he's putting on the post? Was there a Whisperer that no longer needs their mask? See, look at right here. He's putting, maybe Alpha has multiple masks, I don't know. But why would Beta be putting someone else's mask it's survival of the fittest. I wouldn't imagine he would be working for other Whispers or doing other Whispers any favors. I just don't understand that. I can only see it as another Whisperer screwed up and then he killed him, or he is putting Lydia's future mask up on the thing. I think this might be a new Whisper or something. Maybe that's why we find out about the Whispers. And as far as the end here, I simply think this is just a test where Lydia wants to break her daughter still and get her to conform to this way of life. Maybe as a final test, Alpha gives Lydia a knife and says, listen, stab him, get it over with, yada, yada, yada. He's a threat, whatever she needs to say. And she can't do it. She's visibly crushed. And instead, I'm guessing since Daryl's on the way, and we know Henry isn't going to die here, it doesn't make any sense story-wise, I'm guessing maybe Daryl and them send a distraction, some type of noise or something, some distraction to interrupt them from this popping off. Maybe the interruption is long enough to get Henry up out of there. Maybe it's to get Henry and Lydia up out of there. But I'm thinking this will lead into Daryl and Beta's fight. If it's not in this coming episode, it'll be in the episode following that. I'm excited. I don't care when it happens, but keep in mind, if it's going to happen already, there's no way Negan's going to make it out in time to be a part of that fight, sadly. I'm sorry this was a long one, but here, instead of giving you 7 different little mini uploads, here's one big long Walking Dead prediction video for what's coming up. Give me your thoughts and opinions down in that comment box. There's a lot to cover, but you let me know what you think is coming up in the world of The Walking Dead. All right. I'm done talking. It's your turn. Oh, one more thing. Last thing. Keep in mind, for those who missed some of the updates, in order to do the polished videos that are coming out in March, we're really trying to stay with a set schedule. This is something we've been working on for months now, since the end of last year. In order to do that, the prediction videos and some of the talking head videos and news videos will have to be raw. I'm not going to sit here and spend hours editing those together when, a week later they expire. Essentially, in a week, this video is going to mean nothing and no one's ever going to watch it again for the entire time it's on the channel. You know what I mean? So I need, in order to be able to do the polished videos and these types of videos, I got to cut back on the amount of time I spend with editing these. So I hope that explains. We're not going to be doing any upgrades or updates unless we bring new people on and we actually have like a little mini staff in 2020 maybe. That's the only time we'd add in some editing. Like if I get an editor, that would be the only time. But for some raw videos, they're there from now until forever as far as I'm concerned. They will stay raw, and then we're going to put our efforts into editing for the videos that actually deserve it, like the Deeper Into, which is coming back in March. Remember, we're doing the whole series, and I want to do it right. I don't want to have to go back and update every single one. As it stands now, I already know certain updates we're doing for 901 to 904. So those definitely will have an update, but I don't want to update every single one. So I want to make them to where they are full and complete. We're not rushing them all, and they will stand on their own for years where you can go back and watch them and they'll still be relevant. I'm going to shut up. Thoughts and opinions in the comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn. I already said that. All right, bye. I'm done. Come on, push the button, Ronnie. I can't find the button.